hope you're doing well today. We're going to do a little bit of music theory today in looking at our fretboard. It's not going to be hard or anything, so don't cringe. It's not that bad. I'll have a little graphic up that I can show you as well that'll help you to understand this. But first of all, when we think about our neck, obviously, as you know, if you play any stringed instrument, if you press down a fret close to this headstock up here, the note is going to be lower than if you press it down farther down the neck, farther up the neck. And obviously if you go back this way with it, if you're playing a note up here and you go back this way, your note's going to be lower, right? You understand that, okay? So all these strings are tuned to different things, right? And I've got it in standard G tuning right now, just for simplicity's sake. Our strings are tuned to G. The 5th string is tuned to G. The 4th string is tuned to D. The 3rd string to G. 2nd string to B. 1st string to D, right? Everybody knows that. Okay. So when we look at our neck, we've got these little dots on our fretboard, right? Okay. So, and some banjos will be a little bit different, but one thing they'll all have in common, if they have markers at all, is that you'll see 2 dots down here at the 12th fret. Now, that is what I want to pay attention to right now. These other ones, fret markers in general, just give you an idea of where you're at on the fretboard. And that's only usually if you have them up here as well. And my banjo doesn't. So I don't use fret markers. They kind of look neat. But anyway, the 12th fret down here, what happens here is we go up an octave. So in Western music, we have 12 notes, okay, that we use. So when we play this 4th string open, that's a D, okay? When we play it at the 12th fret, that's a D also. We're starting over, but we are an octave higher, okay? So that's the lower D. That's the higher D. And that's the same with everything. That 12th fret resets, okay? So I kind of want you to understand that. Now, when we walk a string down, and we'll do that next, in our notes, we have what is called sharps and flats, okay? And that's what the frets do. They give us our sharps and our flats. And if you've seen like a Merlin or a Dulcimer, those are diatonically fretted, meaning they're following the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale. But these are chromatic, and so they include all the 12 notes. Okay, so if we look at our 1st string, and there's something else I have to mention too. So when we look at our notes, we only have 2 places where there are no sharps and flats. Okay, and that is between B and C. So there's no B sharp, there's no C flat, and E and F. There's no E sharp, there's no F flat. Okay, every other note, there's a sharp or a flat, okay? So if you can just remember those 2, B to C and E to F, those have no sharps or flats. So that's when you're on the fretboard and you're going down, you're never gonna have anything between your B and your C, or your E and your F, okay? So let's start on the 1st string. That's our D, okay? So at the 1st fret, we've got a D sharp. What's next? E, right? And from E to F, we don't have any sharps or flats. So the very next fret is F. Okay? And then we have F sharp or G flat. Then G. Then G sharp. And on up. All the way on up. Okay? So, I hope that sort of made sense to you there about how you can learn to use your 12th fret and what that will mean, and things of that nature. Now, also, we know that we have these notes repeating all over the fretboard, okay? And when we do our scales, like we do that open G scale, so I just wanted to sort of walk you around your fretboard a little bit there and get you to understand about that 12th fret. And what makes this 12th fret important also is that the distance between our nut and our 12th fret will be the same distance from our 12th fret to our bridge, okay? And that's how we get that second octave there with our notes. Yeah, so to recap that, we understand that our 12th fret is where we get our higher octave, the next octave for that open string, whatever it is tuned to, okay? Now, we also realize that these are half steps on the fretboard, except in two places, okay? We have a B to a C, we don't have any sharps or flats. So when we hit a B, the C is the very next fret, okay? Same thing with the E and an F. There's no sharps or flats. So when we hit an E, the very next fret is the F. Everything else, there are sharps and flats. Now, you can call it however you want. You can say A sharp, G flat. You can say either one of those and it means the same thing. Don't worry too much about that. And don't get confused by that. If you want to just say flat all the way up, you can say flat each time instead of sharp. That's fine. Okay, so I wanted to add this onto this video about the neck because it can really be a big help. So when we're looking at the fretboard and we see our 3rd, 5th, and 7th frets, okay? Something to take note of here is that this is your 3rd, right? It's your 3rd fret, but it's also your 3rd note higher than whatever note, like if we're on the D string here. So your 1, 4, 5, your D, G, A, right? Your G, C, D. And that's how we figure out our, like when we're going to transpose into a different key and we want to get our 1, 4, 5 chord. If you can't remember this, you can always just use your tuner to help you. And you go, okay, I'm in the key of D, okay? So what are my 1, 4, 5 chords in the key of D? Well, if I take my 4th string there, which mine is a little, okay. So if I take that 4th string, open, that's my D. So that's my 1 chord. My 4 chord is right here at the 5th fret. And if I look on my tuner, that says G. And my 5 chord for that song would be an A, right? D, G, A. Let's go down to the next string, the 3rd string. That's our G. So our 1, 4, 5 chords would be the open string. The 5th fret is our 4th chord, and the 7th fret is our 5 chord. So it's G, C, and D. All right, now we go into, you're not going to be in the key of B ever, but if you need to find that, that's how you can do it. You can always quickly just go, oh yeah, 1, 4, 5. If you use the 3 chord, there's a 3rd higher, there's a 4th higher, and there's a 5th higher. So I just wanted to add that little piece because that can be very helpful if you're out somewhere and you're needing to know a 1, 4, 5 progression or something like that. You can use that fretboard to help you out if you're not sure. And you can just use it. And you can also, for your other notes, you can use it as well. You just turn it on and you go, okay, there's my C as my 1, and that's our B on the first fret is our C. So what would my 4 be? Well, it would be not this fret, but this one, because I was on the 1. I wasn't open. So it'd be the 6th fret, C, F, and then the 8th fret would be G. So C, F, and G. So we can use these dots right here at the 5th fret and the 7th fret to help us find our 4 and our 5 chord, which with whatever chord progression we're using and whatever key we're using. I thought you would appreciate that, and it sort of goes along with this one as we're using our fretboard to help us navigate. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Just a short video on our fretboard. I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. And I always want to remind you before I go that Jesus loves you. Bye-bye.